Hi everyone, this is Mark Hayward from the Absolute Business Mindset podcast. I'm going to talk to you today about three different subjects. Now they are related and they are different in the same way. The first one I'm going to talk about is how to be a good corporate citizen. So we'll go through a few points there. Second thing is your side hustle, which I think everyone knows is something that I think everyone should do. And then the third part is three things that I want. So what I want to do, be, aim for. So first thing, I want to talk to you about being a best corporate citizen. So if you work for a corporation and you started, or let's just say you've started and you're trying to work out whether it's the right place for you, I would say you need to believe in the vision. So every company that's a big corporate will have set a vision, it will have a vision, will have values, what they stand for. Now you might think, what does one lowly employee matter when it comes down to the vision of a large corporation with hundreds of thousands of employees? Well, actually, it is really important. You've got to believe what you work for, and it's, in a way, it's like a political party. You've got to believe in the political party to vote for, and you've got to believe in the corporation that you employ you, because you want to stay there and make that company a better company and exist in a stronger, more profitable scenario. So I think believing in the vision, you will often get a lot of the stuff from the CEO or the chairman or the partner, the lead partner, on what their vision is, or if they are a good corporation, then they will be sharing that vision with you. If you're not getting that vision, equally, I think you should go and ask your lead partner in your team about what the vision is, because I think it needs to transcend it. It needs to go from the top all the way down to the bottom, and everyone in between should be able to buy into what that vision actually is. So then, also believing in the vision, you've got to believe in the people and the management that you work with. So firstly, the people. So you've got to like the people. You've got to develop yourself there. You've got to be in harmony with your colleagues. So I think it is important to have belief in your colleagues and your immediate bosses. And then talk about the management side. So you need to be able to feel that the people that you work for are actually worthwhile individuals and worthwhile collective as they are together. One of the other things you need to do is you need to share knowledge. So one of the things to being a good corporate citizen, there's a lot of things about being able to share knowledge within other parts of the business, within your team. If I say business politically, it's sometimes self-interest that drives a lot of people. But actually, to make the best out of the environment, you need to be able to share information and knowledge both ways, not just you sharing information and knowledge, but equally people sharing that with you as well. So I think that's something that might be underrated or not necessarily always commented on, but I think it's incredibly important. So you've got to work for a corporation and be successful. You need to want to develop yourself and others. So you want to develop yourself, you want to pursue a career, you want to go up the grades, you want to gain knowledge and skills and experiences. So you should always be looking for opportunities to learn, whether that is a formal course, whether that's an e-learn, or whether that is just gaining knowledge from on the job. But you always need to be building something. Someone said to me a while ago, you should be doing a job for 2 years and then pass it on to someone else and do the next job, whether that's managing that job or whether that's slightly different, moving away. You should be constantly evolving and constantly building up a set of skills and a set of experiences. And equally, you're in a big corporation, there's more than just you there. You should be wanting to develop others. Now that might be if you are a coach or a mentor, or they come in various different names: people manager, career coach, mentor. But you should be thinking about developing other people. You're not the only person there, and you can get a lot of reward for helping people. I do some of this stuff because I want to help people. Equally, I also want to help other people in my corporation as well. So the next point is you need to respect your boss, is your first thing. And then potentially you might want to be your boss. Now I'll break that down. So you've got to respect your boss. You've got to, the person that's making the decisions for you, for your team, you've got to respect them. You've got to think they're good. You've got to think they're talented. You've got to think they're knowledgeable and skilled to be able to lead you. And then this is something else someone said to me about, that you want to kind of be your boss, because eventually you'll be taking over from him. So if you, to be successful, that boss has to be a certain character set. Well, obviously there's definitely a lot of different ways of being a leader, and we have discussed that before. But equally, if that person's been successful, you might have to tailor slightly your ways of approaching things and take his knowledge and experience. You've got to be happy in your work. So the actual role you're doing, the roles and responsibilities, you have to feel happy that they are what match what you want to achieve in your career. Sometimes jobs change, sometimes roles change, sometimes teams change. There's often a lot of change within a corporation. They slightly revamp, they restructure, they change. So but you've got to be happy with the role, the responsibility, the people, which I've talked about before. And then the bit that a lot of people don't want to talk about but should be talked about is you've got to be happy with the salary and the reward that you get. Whether that is a big salary or a good pension or good benefits, you've got to be happy with what you're being provided to by your corporation. So those are the things that I would say you need to have to work well in a corporation and work well there. So we've talked about the main hustle, your career, if you're corporate, let's say. The second point I want to talk about is the side hustle. So my side hustle is podcasting, and I would say that it's incredibly important to me. It's developed skills. I've got a list of things that I want to talk to you about. So it fits into my 70-20-10 principle, which I've talked about before, which is your main job, career, whatever it is, business is your 70. You then have a 20%, which is something that you want to develop and want to be able to do, because you need more than just one thing to be happy and content and satisfied. So you need your second thing that you're investing in. And then you've got a long shot, which is your 10%. So the 70-20-10 principle, I would say that every person that has a job or a business should be using that principle, and you should really be thinking about, sometimes the 70 evolves and changes and the 20 replaces that 70. Maybe you systemize it, process it, the 70, and therefore you don't need to do that job or role anymore. And then you can then replace it with your 20. So I think it's something that we've discussed before, and I think it's important and critical that you have things outside of your main income. So another thing that I think is important, which needs to be thought about, is you've got your 70-20-10 principle, but equally you need to be able to have 3 different parts of your life, and they can all be within your 70, for example. But I would say that what you need to live a happy and satisfied life, mentally, physically, is you need to have something that you earn money on. You have something that you physically strain or physically exercise with, and you need something that's creative. And therefore, I think these 2 principles are the things that really are going to make somebody happy and content, and be flexible, because you need to have flexibility in your life as well. You don't know, maybe the 20 then becomes your 70, for example. So definitely think about those 2 principles. I think they're critical. And as I said before, I think it's important to have something outside your job or your career. Now, some people throw themselves into something like football into a sport and they play it competitively or every Sunday in a local league. It could be something like tennis where you play in a league. It might be something more creative. It might be drawing. So it might be painting. It might be doing something like podcasts. There are so many different ways that you can have something more in your life. Now, obviously, thing that's not discussed here, which always comes in embedded in this, is your family life. Whether that's if you're younger, it might be your mum and your dad and your brothers and sisters. If you're a little bit older, it might be with your children or your wife. So that needs to be melded in. But we're talking kind of like business side at the moment. So I would say that your other interests should be grown organically. I think there's something really rewarding out of seeing something grow organically, and you might want to do some masterminds or some groups or some things, some mentors to be able to develop those skill sets. But there's something nice about having something grow, and you're growing as well all along. So for me, podcasting was where we started. I then wanted to influence or make an impact on social media. So Twitter, I wasn't massive, but I had some followers on Twitter, which I still do. And then Instagram has more leverage, so I've been working a bit on Instagram as well. And also here with my YouTube, I've also wanted to develop that, and sort of the ability of Patreon is something that I'm sort of playing around with and experimenting with to see if this is something that people are interested in or not. I think you do need to, but what I've enjoyed about it is developing my skills. So I've now been able to use different pieces of software, different pieces of hardware, develop skills on how to present, how to analyze, how to develop. I've got a lot better at doing demos and presentations, to even some large numbers, relatively large numbers, because I've been able to have to think through things quickly. I have to gather knowledge, things that I know about, I can talk about, things that I need some prompts. So I've got some prompts on what I want to talk about. That's just to make sure that I cover everything and it's comprehensive. So you do sometimes see me looking down, or if you're on YouTube, but that's to be able to help me, and I don't think it strays too far away from making an enjoyable YouTube video. But obviously, feedback, if there's something you prefer, then do let me know. So another one of these sorts of things is the 10,000 hours of doing of something. You're only really an expert once you've done 10,000 hours in something. So think about that in your career. You're definitely doing a lot of hours, more than likely. Your side hustle, have you got to that point where you've got expertise and knowledge? I've recently joined a meetup group about podcasting, partly to gain experience for myself and gain knowledge, but actually after going to a couple of these events, actually I suddenly realised that actually I was more experienced than I actually thought I was. So these people that haven't started a podcast, or are about to start a podcast, or have only done half a dozen episodes and really struggling, I can actually add value, which I never thought I could. So that's been rewarding for me as well. So your 10,000 hours is a real good sign. I'm not saying I've done 10,000 hours, but I'm just saying that actually I'm on podcast 76, I think it is. There is quite a lot of knowledge that I've gained about podcasting, which hopefully I can share with you guys on maybe one of these videos and podcasts. I think it's important also with your side hustle is to be a passion and a hobby, something you enjoy doing, something you really like. Because the thing is, your job, you get up, you go to work, but doing this podcasting, it's something that I really enjoy doing. I enjoy the process. I enjoy the software. I was having a problem with GarageBand earlier and managed to work it out, which was very pleasing. Like my last video didn't happen with the one my interview with Richard Abbott because there was a problem with GarageBand. I actually spent a bit of time today and actually made it work, which is rewarding and problem solving. And there's a lot of skills that I've developed doing my side hustle, and that's something that's totally valuable. And also, if you don't love your job, and I very much enjoy my job, if you don't love your job, having a side hustle could be something that you really do love doing. It might give you, let's just say it's tennis, let's say, and you enjoy watching tennis, you enjoy playing tennis, you enjoy the strategy of tennis, the mental side of tennis, all these things to make you better or make colleagues of yours better, or friends or tutors. You might be a tutor to someone and making them better by reading up on the different strategies and skills and how to serve volley, how to play from the back line, whatever it is. So it's something that you love, and that is incredibly important. It's even more important if you don't enjoy your job. I do enjoy my job, so I'm just very blessed that I do a job that I enjoy, and equally I am doing something that is challenging, exciting, and something I love. So a side hustle can give you a different mindset. It definitely gives you a different way of being able to approach problems, situations from a technical point of view, or a mental point of view, or an organisation point of view. So I think different mindsets, being able to get into flick into different ways of different hats, I think is the psychology description. The other thing is you might be able to monetize it. You might be able to earn some money through advertising, affiliate marketing, sponsors, whatever it is. You might be able to monetize it, which will help. It might not necessarily replace your job, but an extra income will be most valued. So I think it's something that not everyone thinks about, and I think as a side hustle, it shouldn't necessarily be your primary objective, because you've got your 70, which is your primary objective on a career, on an earnings point of view. But equally, it really won't hurt if you earn a little bit extra money by monetizing your side hustle. Mm-hmm. Equally, I think it makes you a little bit more interesting. I think it makes you someone that you'd be able to develop skills and just make yourself interesting, whether it's sharing it with your wife, partner, friends, colleagues. It's important to understand the best bits and be an interesting person. You can invest in it. So as I was saying about organically growing it, you can stick adverts and try and develop a different revenue stream by adding more followers, more fans. And we've kind of talked this before, but it gives you a knowledge, skills that are beyond your day job. So it's incredibly important to understand that you're actually going to bring in different skills that you might not have thought of before, that would be helpful for all of your life, whether it's your family, friends, colleagues, work, hobby, whatever it is. And then just the last point of that, you might want to get a mentor or a mastermind or a meetup or a group that can help you, whether it's online or whether it's face-to-face, is definitely a help when you are talking about something like your side hustle. So that's the first two sections. The third one is quite a personal one. It's actually something I thought about a little while ago and reviewed it. I was just looking through my notes on Evernote. Love Evernote. It's a fantastic tool. And 3 things I want. Now, this might sound a little bit weird. I don't think it does sound weird, but I was in a junction of my life where I was thinking, like, how can I be a better me? So 3 things that I want to do is, first thing is be a better me, be the best me that I can be. Now that might be work, family, career, hustle, whatever it is, just be the best me. And I think that's incredibly important. We talk about a lot about being the best person at work, but equally that fits into your family life as well. When you're with your kids, you need to be the best person, the best parent, the best guide, the best sort of person shaping their lives. And you want to be that best person that you can be. So incredibly important to be the best person that you can be. Second thing I want to outperform others. So this is a little bit more career business focused. I want to be able to do better than everyone else. I want to work harder. I want to strive for things. I want to achieve things. I want to deliver things. I want to service clients. I want to be the best, and I want to be able to outperform others. Now that's very personal from a grade level. I want to be the best person at my grade to get promoted, but equally I want to be known as safe pair of hands, strong candidate, really dedicated, works hard, delivers. So outperforming others is important. It's not a competition. Other people can be successful when I'm being successful, but I don't want anyone to think that they work harder than me. And then the third thing is I want to live life on a little bit more on my terms. So I want to spend time with my kids. I want time to maybe do these interviews on my podcast as well. I want to maybe have when my daughter's having a gym class performance, I'm able to go to that and really just spend a bit of time with my wife. We don't spend enough time together, so making sure that I am able to even out my time with her as well. But I don't want others to dictate where I am, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. I want to live on my terms. And so I think that's incredibly important as well for everyone. Right, that's the end of my 3 things I want to talk to you about today. Hope you enjoyed it. Check me out on Twitter. Check me out on Instagram, Mark J. Hayward, Absolute Business Mindset. Obviously, my podcast is on all good podcasting platforms and environments, so please check that out. YouTube, look at all my previous videos that are on there. You can go back to quite some time ago where I was doing some 2-3 minute videos, so check them out as well as my latest ones. Patreon, I'd love you to join me on Patreon and contribute. I can give some unique and sort of bonus material on there. There's also a bunch of about business coaching, which I'm sort of experimenting with to see if anyone is interested in me coaching them. So if you have a passion that is being unfulfilled, if you want some advice on a corporate career, you want some advice on a business, then do let me know. I'm really keen to get that leveraged if anyone really needs that sort of support from me. And so that's it. Last thing to say, on YouTube, please give me a tick. I would or a thumbs up, I should say. Give me a thumbs up and see if you really enjoyed this, and please subscribe as well. If you're on the podcast, then please can you download, subscribe, and you can get all of them there. Thank you very much.